Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is BBC pundit thinks one Everton star could play for Arsenal, refuses to back Liverpool move. Everton may have lost to Manchester City on Saturday afternoon, but Ndiaye has commanded major praise. Erling Haaland downed Everton with 2 goals as Manchester City beat Everton 2-0 over the weekend. The Norwegian hitman bagged the goals, but Everton star Ndiaye has arguably grabbed even more attention. Ndiaye dazzled David Moyes with an impressive display at the Etihad Stadium, terrorizing City defenders throughout. The Senegal ace is taking his game to another level this season and is earning deserved credit, even if it may concern Everton fans. Pat Nevin backs Ndiaye for big move away from Everton. Ndiaye's technical quality and his ability to dance past defenders will always stand out and make him an Everton fan favorite. Unfortunately, that quality is also bound to attract admiring glances from elsewhere. Pundit Pat Nevin hailed Ndiaye over the weekend and has now doubled down on his praise for the Everton star. Nevin has told BBC Sport that he thinks Ndiaye could easily play for Arsenal, Chelsea or Manchester City. The former Everton man hopes to see Ndiaye stay put, but believes bigger boys will be making bids very soon. However, Nevin is not backing Ndiaye for a move to Merseyside rivals Liverpool, joking that he would have an Evertonian lynch mob on his case if he dared to suggest a switch to Anfield. I often think of players who would be even more impressive playing with better sides, teams who have more of the ball and spend more time in the attacking third, said Nevin. Watching Everton's Ndiaye so far this season, I suspect he could do a phenomenal job if he was playing for Manchester City, Chelsea, or Arsenal. He is that good. I hope he stays at the Toffees, but they might have to fight off bids from the bigger boys soon. Notice I don't mention Liverpool in the shortlist. This is not because he isn't capable, but I would rightly have an Evertonian lynch mob after me if I suggested such a thing, he added. Everton have already fended off one European club for Ndiaye. Ndiaye has made an impact in many different positions for Everton and may well have admirers around Europe. In fact, Inter Milan wanted to sign Ndiaye over the summer and offered £40 million for his signature. Everton stood firm and rejected that bid, no doubt realizing that Ndiaye was worth a lot more than £40 million. Ndiaye's start to the season surely means that Everton's asking price has increased even further, so any interested clubs will have to dig deep. The likes of Eberechi Eze, Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha moved for big money last summer, and Everton may view Ndiaye as being worth a similar amount of money in 2026. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League. Our second news is Mac Allister upgrade. Liverpool preparing huge offer to sign £69 million monster. Let's scale back 2 years. Liverpool had completed their midfield rebuild under Jurgen Klopp and were primed for a new chapter, putting that bleak 2022-23 campaign to bed. Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, and co had gone past their sell-by dates, and FSG went full ham as they countered the midfield exodus with 4 interesting signings: Alexis Mac Allister, Dominic Szoboszlai, Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch. Those additions led Klopp's side back into the Champions League and saw the German cap off his Anfield dynasty with one final slice of silverware, beating Chelsea against injury-hit odds in the Carabao Cup final. Arne Slot approached the recent summer market with a similar need for change, well, similar insofar as much money needed to be spent, but Liverpool had just won the Premier League and were supported by the many years of Klopp's labours. This is supposed to be a successful season for the Reds. And it still could be, but so much has gone wrong for Slot's tactically imbalanced team, who have lost 4 matches in a row and lack any sense of confidence or coherence. We could pick at any area of the field, but the midfielders have certainly left something to be desired in recent months. Liverpool need a new midfielder. 2 years on, FSG may need to shop once again for a high-level midfielder. While the Merseysiders have talented options in the engine room, the woes of Mac Allister and Szoboszlai's new role at right-back suggest more physicality and press resistance could be added to ease Gravenberch's burden. The 26-year-old Mac Allister, in particular, has been dreadful this term, lacking his typical coolness and energy on the ball, that rare ability to marry technical elegance with combative physicality. That simply hasn't been there, with one Premier League noting that the Argentina international is not up to scratch at the moment, winning only 1 tackle per game and losing 57% of his ground duels, as per SofaScore. It hasn't been good enough, and while, candidly, part of Mac Allister's struggle is down to mismanagement, there's a sense that an upgrade is needed to add a much-needed dimension to the midfield. Well, that man could arrive in the form of Real Madrid's Eduardo Camavinga, with Spanish sources confirming this week that the France international could be on the move in 2026, an update which has certainly put Anfield sporting director, Richard Hughes, on alert, valued by Los Blancos at around €80 million, equating to £69 million. Camavinga is no longer considered untouchable by Xabi Alonso, and those in Spain believe an audacious January bid could be staged by the Premier League champions. Let's scale back 2 years. Liverpool had completed their midfield rebuild under Jurgen Klopp and were primed for a new chapter, putting that bleak 2022-23 campaign to bed. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news. Our third news is Richard Hughes lining up genius centre-back transfer. Liverpool are lining up a genius move to sign a centre-back. Richard Hughes has proved a shrewd negotiator over the course of the summer. His track record speaks for itself, and even though we aren't quite experiencing it on the pitch just yet, in time we will, not just at Liverpool but at Bournemouth. Hughes has built successful teams loaded with superstars. The Bournemouth side he assembled with Dean Huijsen, Milos Kerkez, and Ilya Zabarnyi ended up making history and then earning big moves to the biggest clubs in Europe right now. Huijsen at Real Madrid, Kerkez at Liverpool and Zabarnyi as Paris Saint-Germain. The latter was a particularly smart signing from Hughes. He signed Zabarnyi from Dynamo Kiev. At the time, not many other clubs in England were prepared to take a punt on him, but Hughes saw the potential, and he pounced. The Ukrainian market is often filled with such potential, and there's a player who is following in the footsteps of Zabarnyi right now and also reportedly on Liverpool's radar. TBR Football has claimed that Liverpool have identified Taras Mikavko as a potential centre-back option ahead of the upcoming January and summer window, where bringing in a player in that position is going to be on the agenda. You may not have heard of 20-year-old, but you will soon. And he could be a genius signing from Hughes this summer. He announced himself on the international stage with a goal against England's U21 side on his debut for Ukraine's U21 team. He's also been catching the eye in the Europa League for Dynamo Kiev, very much following in the footsteps of Zabarnyi, who also made his mark at the Ukrainian club. Mikavko is a left-sided centre-back, and first and foremost he's a great defender. Over the course of his senior career, in just over 4,500 minutes, he's won 73% of his 6 defensive duels per 90 minutes. Averaging 4.63 aerial duels, he's also won 62.3%, which is a decent return. Obviously, for Slot side you don't just need to be a good defender, but you also need to be excellent on the ball. Mikavko is exactly that. He's averaged over 70 passes in his career, and over 40% of his attempts, 29, have been forward passes. This highlights that he isn't just a player who makes comfortable side passes, but he looks ahead to make penetrative passes into dangerous territories. 9.34 passes of his passes per 90 minutes have also been to the opposition's final third, with 74% reaching its target. That's a little lower, but it's interesting to take into account that it's actually higher, 81%, in the Europa League and the Champions League, where he has over 1,200 minutes and where he often faces more difficult opposition. Mikavko is also relatively quick. He can make a lot of recovery runs and cover a lot of ground, too. Hughes struck gold with Zabarnyi, and he could strike gold again. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news, updates. Our last news is Liverpool's predicted 11 versus Frankfurt as really poor ace dropped and Arne Slot makes bold attacking move. Liverpool need to put a stop to their 4-game losing streak. The Reds' defeat to Manchester United at the weekend has really put into perspective just how bad things are getting for them right now, with Arne Slot needing to find a solution quickly. He does not have too much time, though, as they play on Wednesday night in the Champions League away to Eintracht Frankfurt, a match that is basically a must-win given the circumstances. Lots of changes are expected to be made and Liverpool fans will be hoping it will be for the better, with the attack one area of the pitch to keep an eye on. Here is the 11 we think Slot will send out to face the German side. Defense. With Alisson Becker expected to miss at least one more match due to injury, Georgi Mamardashvili will start between the sticks for the third game in a row. The two centre-backs also likely pick themselves, with captain Virgil van Dijk hoping for a better game than the one he played against Man United, while Ibrahima Konate will likely start alongside him. Joe Gomez could have been an option, but given how impressive Konate was at Anfield on Sunday, he will likely get the nod. The fullback areas will likely both be changed, with Jeremy Frimpong coming in to replace Connor Bradley for some much-needed minutes. Bradley is one yellow card away from suspension in the Champions League, suggesting that resting him would be a good idea so he can play against Real Madrid in a few weeks' time. As for the left back, Milos Kerkez has been really poor and struggled again on Sunday, with Andy Robertson surely coming into the team to take the Hungarian out of the firing line. Midfield. The middle of the park may see some changes too, with one of them almost forced due to Ryan Gravenberch twisting his ankle against Man United. As a precaution, he will likely be rested, meaning Curtis Jones could get the chance to play as a holding midfielder instead. Jones has been deserving of some minutes and this could be his chance to show his boss why he should get more in the future. Ahead of him will likely be the ever-reliable Dominik Szoboszlai, with the Hungarian basically undroppable given how hard he works for the team, with Szoboszlai dropping back to replace Alexis Mac Allister. That should leave the number 10 position free for Florian Wirtz, who should get a start considering he has been on the bench for the last 2 games. Wirtz has a good record against Frankfurt during his days with Bayer Leverkusen, suggesting he could be key to helping Liverpool get the win in this one. Attack. The forward line is where things get even more exciting as we reckon Slot is going to go bold and attempt to go all-out attack against a Frankfurt side who shipped their fair share of goals. On the left, we have gone with Hugo Ekitike over Cody Gakpo, with the Frenchman, arguably, the player in the squad who is most deserving of a start. Frankfurt is, of course, Ekitike's former club too, suggesting he may know their weaknesses and where to exploit them. On the right, Mohamed Salah could be dropped due to his poor form and replaced with Federico Chiesa instead. Chiesa's impact off the bench has been extraordinary at the start of the season, with it surely now time for the Italian to get a genuine chance to shine. Finally, Alexander Isak has to be the man to lead the line for the Reds, with the Swede hoping to find some form now he is back up to full fitness. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.